Bezrat Hashem, the Gemara this morning, Baba Kama, page 80a. Tanu Rabbanan, Chachamim teach us, Maaseh b'chasid echad, there was this pious man, shaya goneach milibo, that had heart palpitations. V'shalu larofim, and they asked doctors what to do with him. Ve'amru lo, en takana ad she'inak chalav roteach mishachrit l'shachrit. He has to drink hot milk that was just milked from the animal, and that's going to be his cure. So somebody went and bought a goat. He attached them bekara mita to the bed poles. Vaya yonek mimena mishachrit l'shachrit. And every morning he would milk some milk from this goat and drink it. And Baruch Hashem feel much better. Leyamim nichnesu chaverav levakro. Then his rabbi's friends came to visit him. Kevan sherau ota es shura bekara mita. When they saw the goat attached to his bed, chazru lachorehem, they made a reverse and came out of the house. Ve'amru listi mezuyan bebeto shel ze v'anu chasim esno. He has a thief attached to his bed, and we're going to go inside his house. What does it mean, a thief? The Gemara says that in Eretz Israel, in the land of Israel, you're not allowed to raise sheep or goats. Why? Because sheep and goats gaze in private fields. That was the whole story between the shepherds of Avraham and the shepherds of Lot. They used to fight constantly because the shepherds of Avraham used to take the flock, right, of sheep to the desert, and the shepherds of Lot, they used to keep the flocks in the city. And they used to gaze in private properties. So the sheep and the goats are thieves in the eyes of our sages because they steal. Are you going to say it's an animal? Yes, but it's your animal, and it's your responsibility to make sure this animal doesn't go into private properties, right? Whatever belongs to you, let it be an ox, let it be a sheep, let it be a dog, let it be whatever, a chicken, whatever it is, you are responsible for the animal. So the rabbis did not want to come into his house when they saw the sheep attached to his bed, because in Israel, you're not allowed to raise sheep or goats. Yashvu v'batku v'lo matzu bo el ha'avon shel ota ez. They checked this rabbi's files, and they saw it was such a pious man. Never ever he did a sin besides this sin of bringing a goat and attaching it to his bed. V'afhu, and he himself, bishat mitato, as he was dying, amar, he said on himself, Yodea ani she'en bi avon. I know that I never sinned. Ela avon ota ez shavalti adrech ramai. Only this sin of buying a goat and attaching it to a bed. And the thing is that I didn't listen to my rabbi's friends, right? So basically, his friends, the rabbis, decreed not to have sheep and goats in Israel, and he overwent their words, and that's a sin by itself. So means, basically, when the rabbis make certain decrees, you're supposed to listen to them. And you see, this pious man had no sin whatsoever, and he recognizes, and they recognize that it's the only sin, but it's a good enough of a sin, right, for them to walk out of his house. Tanu Rabbanan, the same type of an idea, Chachamim teach us, Lo yegadel adam et hakelev, ela im ken kashur bashalshelet. You're not allowed to raise a dog unless he's attached, right, with a chain. אבל מגדל הוא בעיר הסמוכה לספר, וכושרו ביום ומתירו בלילה. If you live, right, in the territories, let's say in Israel, the territories, occupied territories, right, and there's attacks from Arabs and all kinds of things, you're allowed to have a dog, a watchdog, right? So he patrols, he watches, right, he warns, that's you're allowed to have. But you attach them with chains in the daytime, and you let him free on the nighttime to do his patrols. Tanya Rabbi Eliezer HaGadol Omer, Chachamim say in the name of the Rabbi Eliezer HaGadol, Amgadel klavim kimgadel chazirim. If somebody raises a dog, it's like raising a pig. What's wrong with raising a pig? Lemikam ale be'arur. Chachamim, they cursed whoever is going to raise pigs, right? And what's the problem with having a dog? Why can't you have a dog in the city? Says the Gemara, why? Because a dog sometimes barks for no reasons. And if a pregnant lady goes next to him and he barks, she might have a miscarriage. And the Gemara brings a story Ahi iteta, from this lady, da'alat lemefar ba'u beta, she went to cook her bread. In the olden days, they didn't have ovens in the private ovens. They would go to a public place to bake their bread. And she went there, navach ba kalba, this dog started to bark at her. And the master of the dog told her, "Oh, don't be scared. I took out his teeth. He cannot bite you." So she told him, "Thank you for telling me now, but it's too late. I think that." She told him she thinks she lost the baby. So basically, if you have a dog and a pregnant ladies come and to visit your wife or to visit a friend, right, even your daughter or somebody, and they get scared from the barking, and unfortunately there's a miscarriage, it's going to be your responsibility. So the question is, could you have a small poodle? Could you have a small dog that doesn't bark or barks but doesn't get scared? So it's questionable, right? But you should know, having an animal, it's a problem by itself. First of all, an animal sweats a lot. So you cannot do Kiddush Friday night. And a lot of people that have dogs like their dog to be around on Friday night to listen to Kiddush, right? And that's a problem by itself. You cannot do a Kiddush next to an animal. You have to close it up in a room. Now, if it's a small animal, clean, maybe, right? Maybe. But the other problems is that sometimes the animal make their needs anywhere. Also, there's a question of feeding them before sitting down to eat. So as good advice, it's better not to have a dog, right? Other pets, like birds, like fish, right? Questionable. So it's better to consult with the Rav before getting an animal. So you should know what's your responsibilities towards this animal. And what's your responsibilities towards your friends, right? And the people out there when you have an animal in your house. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen ve'amen.